You think power belongs to the loud. That dominance is proven through constant motion, constant speech, constant presence. That illusion is exactly why you are predictable and why you lose. Real control doesn't announce itself. It doesn't argue. It doesn't defend. It doesn't explain. It observes. It waits. It calculates. And when it moves, it's already too late for anyone to react. The most dangerous individual in any room is not the one speaking, but the one who has already understood everyone else without revealing a single intention. Silence is not weakness. Silence is filtration. While others expose their insecurities disguised as opinions, you remain still, absorbing patterns, mapping flaws, cataloging every emotional leak they unknowingly display. Every word they throw out is a confession. Every reaction is a blueprint. And you say nothing because you don't need to. People will always reveal more than they should when they believe no one is truly watching. And that is the first fracture in their control. They assume presence equals authority. They assume volume equals influence. But authority is not granted through noise. Authority is established through restraint. The less you speak, the more weight your presence carries. The less you reveal, the more others project onto you. They begin to fill the silence with their own fears, their own assumptions, their own insecurities. And without realizing it, they hand you power. Because uncertainty breeds submission, and you become the unknown variable they cannot solve. That discomfort, that tension, that is where control begins. There was once a man who entered rooms where others fought to be heard, where egos clashed like desperate animals seeking validation. He said nothing. He watched. And while they competed, while they exposed their ambitions, their alliances, their weaknesses, he remained invisible. Not because he lacked presence, but because he mastered it. He understood that people are most honest when they feel unobserved. So he became the absence they ignored. And in that absence, he learned everything. Who feared losing control, who needed approval, who could be manipulated through praise, who would betray under pressure. He didn't interrupt, he didn't correct, he didn't engage. Because interruption is interference, and interference ruins data. Instead, he let them speak. He let them perform. He let them believe they were in control. And that belief was their undoing. Because while they built illusions of dominance, he built precision. And precision always destroys illusion. Most people cannot tolerate silence. It exposes them. It forces them to confront the void within themselves. So they rush to fill it. They talk too much. They reveal too much. They react too quickly. And in doing so, they surrender their position, because every reaction is a loss of control. Every unnecessary word is a leak. Every emotional display is a weakness, marked and remembered. But you will not react. Not immediately, not impulsively. You will delay. You will observe the stimulus, analyze the intention behind it, and choose your response with surgical intent. Because power is not in reacting. Power is in deciding when a reaction is worth the cost. Most of the time, it isn't. So you remain still. And that stillness unsettles people. They expect resistance. They expect engagement. They expect validation of their presence. When you deny them that, they begin to spiral. They question themselves. They push harder. They expose more. And with every attempt to break your silence, they weaken their own position. This is where patience becomes a weapon, because time is not neutral. Time reveals truth. The longer you wait, the more others reveal. The longer you remain silent, the more pressure builds, not on you, but on them. And pressure forces mistakes. Small ones at first, a contradiction, a slip in tone, a misplaced confidence, then larger ones, misjudgments, overextensions, betrayals, and eventually collapse. Not because you attacked, but because you allowed them to destroy themselves. This is the part most people will never understand. They believe power requires action. They believe control requires force. But the highest form of control is influence without visible effort. It is guiding outcomes without exposing intention. It is allowing others to believe they chose their path, when in reality, they were always being led. And silence is the foundation of that influence, because silence creates space. And in that space, people reveal their nature. Once you see their nature, you don't need to fight them. You simply position yourself where their nature works against them. The arrogant will overreach. The insecure will seek approval. The impulsive will act too soon. And all you have to do is wait. But waiting is not passive. Waiting is active observation. It is constant analysis. You are not disengaged. You are hyper-aware. You notice patterns others miss. The subtle shift in tone when someone lies. The hesitation before a false agreement. The micro-expression of doubt behind forced confidence. These details are invisible to those who are too busy talking. But to you, they are signals. And signals form strategy. Once you understand someone's pattern, you can predict their behavior. And once behavior is predictable, it is controllable. Not through force, but through positioning. You place them in situations where their own tendencies lead them exactly where you want. They believe they are acting freely. They are not. They are following the script their own psychology has written. And you are simply directing the stage. There will be moments when speaking is necessary. But even then, your words will not be wasted. They will be minimal, precise, final. When you speak, it will not be to explain. It will be to conclude. And because you rarely speak, your words will carry disproportionate weight. People will listen, not because you demand it, but because your silence has conditioned them to. You become the voice that matters by refusing to be just another voice. This is the paradox. The less you seek attention, the more attention you command. The less you reveal, the more others try to understand you. And in that pursuit, they expose themselves further. It becomes a cycle, a quiet, controlled unraveling. And all of it happens without you raising your voice, without you asserting dominance, without you engaging in unnecessary conflict, because conflict is inefficient. Conflict exposes intention, and exposed intention invites resistance. Instead, you operate beneath the surface. You allow others to clash, to compete, to exhaust themselves. And when they are weakened, when they have revealed everything, that is when you move. Not aggressively, not emotionally, but decisively. One action, one statement, one shift, and the outcome is sealed. To outsiders, it will seem sudden, unexpected, but in reality, it was inevitable, because you had already calculated it long before anyone realized a game was being played. Understand this clearly. You are not becoming silent to appear mysterious. You are becoming silent to become dangerous. There is a difference. Mystery attracts curiosity. Silence creates control. Curiosity fades. Control compounds. And over time, your presence alone will alter the behavior of others. They will hesitate before speaking around you. They will second-guess their actions. They will become aware, not of what you are doing, but of what you might be thinking. And that uncertainty will limit them more effectively than any direct confrontation ever could, because fear of the unknown is stronger than fear of the known. You are not here to be liked. You are not here to be understood. Those are distractions for those who need validation. You are here to observe, to learn, to position, and to act only when action guarantees advantage. Everything else is noise. And noise is for those who don't understand the game. So let them talk. Let them argue. Let them believe they are winning. While they chase visibility, you build inevitability. While they seek approval, you accumulate leverage. And when the moment arrives, you will not hesitate. Because you were never reacting. You were always preparing. Stay silent and watch them fail.